listen, man, I've been following what you guys are doing out at Kent State. I mean, you took a program that may or may not have been a household name, and you've actually done that. So congratulations to that. And let's talk about the pillars of your program. I mean, the guys that are kind of like the staples. I mean, let's start with the man right now who just, when you think Kent State, you think of Dustin Kilgore. I mean, what's that situation all about?
Well, Dustin came to us 5-6 years ago. He's a three-time All-American. He's the first three-time All-American in our school's program in any sport, not only wrestling, which is great, and just kind of got our school on the map. We've had some other kids that have been All-Americans. Nick Bellion's coaching out at Ryder right now. He's a two-time All-American. Years ago, we had Jermail Porter, who was a heavyweight that kind of got us started. We went about 28 years without having an All-American. And, Jermail and Nick Bellion, 6 years ago, were the first two to be All-Americans. And like I said, since then we've had one every year. And we've had two some years. So we're starting to get back in there. We've been a top either nationally ranked dual meet team or at the national tournament, top 25 team the last 5 or 6 years also. So like I said, we're trying to keep our name up there. It's tough, but we're trying to.
So what's the deal, man? You live at Kent State. You've been there since 1990. I mean, what you paying rent there, or is it rent free?
Well, I went there as an athlete, and I was lucky enough to want to get into coaching, and I was given the opportunity at the time under Coach Gray. So I did a lot of volunteering for 3 years. Pretty much had another job, went in early with that job, got off about 1 o'clock, went to Kent from 1 to about 6, did all the recruiting at that time. From there, I became a graduate assistant. From there, I became the assistant coach, and kind of just kept working my way up, and kind of a household name around the athletic department. Over the last probably 10 years, we've really done a lot of coaches coming and going, a lot of administrators coming and going. I'm one of the few people that have just been staying put, and I'm from the area. I'm about 25 minutes away. I grew up 25 minutes away, so I know the state of Ohio really well. I know Northeast Ohio even better, and it makes my job a little bit easier. And I know the campus. It's pretty easy to get kids on campus and to sell it because I've been there so long, and you find out what kids like, and you find out what we can sell to that person. So it's worked for us.
Well, that's good. Well, let's piggyback off of that. What is your selling point for Kent State? How are you attracting? Because you're picking up some very good recruits. I mean, so that's obvious, but you're also developing them. But how are you drawing these recruits out to Kent State?
Well, I think where we're located is the biggest thing. We're in Ohio, which so many great Ohio wrestlers, and we've went to PA, and we're about probably 70% Ohio kids, 30% PA kids if you look at our roster. So we went over to PA and kind of hand-plucked some guys because of Josh Moore and Matt Hill, who are two PA kids. So where we're located is the first thing. We're in the MAC conference, which now is becoming, the addition of Missouri, Old Dominion, and Northern Iowa. I think within the next few years we could be the second-best division behind, or second-best conference behind the Big Ten. That is helping us. And if you look at our schedule, who we've started competing against the last 10 years since I've taken over, we have I don't want to call it a Big Ten schedule because the Big Ten, they got to wrestle each other at the end of the year, which is a little bit tougher than most. But, I'm trying to get the best teams in our campus, and I've never, ever veered away from a competition. I'll wrestle anybody anytime as long as they're willing to come back and wrestle on my campus and do a home and home. So I think the combination of where we're located, the schedule we've had, the kids we've been able to recruit is the biggest draw.
What do you got coming back for next year? What are you looking forward to? What's your lineup going to look like?
Well, we've got 5 returning national qualifiers in Mac McGuire at 133. Tyler Small and Ian Miller both redshirted. So Tyler Small will be there. He was ranked in the top 8 beginning preseason this year. We decided to redshirt him. Ian Miller was seeded last year 4th at the national tournament. He was a guy that we're going to expect big things from. And then we have Caleb Marsh, Sam Wheeler, 2 more national qualifiers that return to our team. And the biggest thing is we'll all be underclassmen. They'll all be, either sophomores or juniors. We only have 2 of those are juniors. The rest are all sophomores. So we have a relatively young team. We've got a heavyweight that was the second best heavyweight in the country last year who's doing very good. We got a kid named Cole Baxter who's beaten a lot of guys that were at the national tournament 197. He just can't beat Dustin Kilgore, so he's been a backup for 2 years. So he's a guy that we're going to expect some pretty big things out of. He's beaten the kid from Ohio University who was in the round to be All-American from Ohio University at 197 and took 3rd in our conference behind Dustin and some other guys. So he's a guy that, he's competed against some really tough kids. We're expecting big things out of him. Really, the only two question marks we really have at this point are going to be 125 and 174, which, like I said, we got guys on our team. I just don't know which guy is going to step up. And like I said, so you're always looking for someone to step up.
Right. When you guys are trying to bring in top prospects to your school, what is it that you want from a student? What type of student athlete are you looking for? What kind of athlete in particular, in terms of his performance on the mat, are you looking for? Are you looking for the Ian Millers, a guy who's going to put up points in the teens, or do you kind of cultivate the athlete based on what he brings to the table?
I think you just, like I said, we recruit Ohio and PA pretty heavily, and we're trying to find the best guys. We're just like Ohio State, Penn State. We're always going after those key guys. It seems that we get more of the guys that are level down, maybe 2 steps down. So we got to bring guys in. We got to develop them. If you really look at our team, a guy like Tyler Small, no one really recruited. Now he's a top 8 or he's a top 8 ranked guy. It's because we developed him. So we're really big on bringing kids in and developing them. We believe in hard work. We believe that you have to wrestle in the summer. That you got to be on our campus over the summer, putting in the time to get better. But we're gonna teach you. We're gonna try to get kids to develop them into the Dustin Kilgore type kids. Dustin Kilgore is probably a blue chip kid, so he's a little bit different. We don't get many kids like that, but like the Danny Mitcheffs, the Nick Bedlians, the Jermail Porters, the guys like that were able to come in and just work and be good because of the kind of work that they're doing. And most of the kids on our team aren't the God-given talent athletes that some of these big-time programs have had. They're just kids that are grinders and they'll work their way into winning. What
was your biggest duel? You said you'll challenge anybody pretty much as long as they come back to your home gym. What was your biggest, most exciting duel this year at home?
At home, this year we wrestled Ohio State. It was at their place, so that was our biggest duel. We had the national duels at our place. Iowa,
the regional.
The regional. Oklahoma State was there. Next year we have 8 home matches. We have North Carolina State. We're doing a Beauties and the Beast, so they're coming. Their gymnastics team is coming, and we put everything down on the floor at one time, and we do it. Our athletic department loves it, so we're going to do Beauty and Beast with North Carolina State. We got Missouri there. We got Central Michigan. We've got Ohio State coming to our place. We have Edinburgh coming to our place. Next year's one of those years we have about 8 home matches, so it's a weird year. But we go to the Virginia duels every year. We're going to either go to the Midlands, or we're going to end up going to the Southern Scuffle, which is one of the tougher Christmas or holiday events. We're going to wrestle, in the past last year we wrestled Illinois, Nebraska, Ohio State. We wrestled, like I said, I'll wrestle anybody. If I go to a competition that's a double duel, something like that, we wrestle them. But if it's something, I got teams calling me all the time, hey, come out. I'll come out if they're more than willing to come back the following year. I'll even do the 2 for the 1 for some of these, meaning I go out 2 times as long as they come and wrestle in my facility. So I'll wrestle anybody, really.
Good stuff. Listen, the final question. Everybody needs a flag bearer. You've obviously you've had one up to this point for the last 4 or 5 years. And he's done a great job representing your school, your coaching staff, and so on and so forth. What are you going to do now? He's gone. So who's your flag bearer as you move forward for 2013-2014 season?
Well, one of the things I've said, and I think we have that person, but I think ultimately I've always said that next year's team and the following year's team, those are going to be the best teams I think we've ever had as far as team. As far as who that guy is, I think Ian Miller. He's a very, very explosive wrestler. He's fun to watch. The reason why, everyone was very concerned on why we redshirted him, but, at the end of the year last year, he kind of fell apart at the national tournament. The college year kind of grinded away at him. He needed to go up a weight class. I didn't feel that going to 157 was the best thing for him without a redshirt year in it. So now he weighs about 168. He'll be a good size 157 pounder. And we really believe, he won the last 4 open tournaments that he went to at the end of the season, getting used to the weight class. We really believe he's going to be that guy that's going to, the next Dustin Kilgore.
He's got 3 years, right?
He's got 3 years left, too. So, like I said, he's very explosive. He might even be a better freestyle wrestler than he is collegiate wrestler. But he's the kind of guy that we think that we can get into the semifinals of the national tournament. Last year we had Nick Bailey on the semifinals. He lost to McDonough. This year we had Dustin Kilgore, who ended up advancing to the national finals. But we think that Ian Miller is that type of guy that can get to the national finals and hopefully win it and get into the finals.